What's going on, guys? Tony here with Edgeley Knife Review. Got another review for you guys today. This is going to be another one of Kris's knives video reviews. If you guys watch the channel, you know my buddy Kris, who I work with, has lent me a bunch of knives in the past to review. And he got a fresh shipment of some knives in not too long ago. And he was like, here, man, take these knives, check them out, do a review on them. So that's what we're going to do today. The first one we're going to be reviewing today, and they're going to be separate videos, so this will be its own, and then the next one will be its own. I'm super stoked about this one because I have not had the pleasure of having one or handling one. I've been wanting one, and I was super stoked when he showed me. It is the Benchmade Bugout. So like I said, this is when he handed me this knife. That's the first time that I've held or handled this knife in person. And as you can see, this does not have the factory scales on it. This has some aftermarket aluminum scales on it. Super, super nice, nicely done scales by a gentleman. His storefront is named Aimfront, I believe, on Etsy. I was looking for a link. I couldn't really find a link, so I'll figure that out and I'll put it down below in the description for you guys. But yeah, Kris, trying to spidey foot this thing. Kris handed me this knife and I was super stoked and surprised because when I first saw the knife, you know, it looked like a good sized knife. You know, you get the specs and whatnot, and you know, you're like, okay, I could picture the size. Even compare it with another knife that it's similar in size that you might have, and seeing pictures of the knife with multiple different people, you know, you kind of gauge like, okay, like the size of it and whatnot. But as always, I have gigantic hands, so I know that it's not going to be the same for me. And Kris is a big guy too. Kris is just as tall as he's just as big as me. Big dude. So I was pleasantly surprised at the actual size of this knife. It's 3.24 inch blade with a 3-inch cutting edge. As you can see, there's a little bit of a choil there, or I don't know, like I guess you can call it just a, I wouldn't say a Spanish notch, but it's just a notch to make it easier to sharpen. CPM S30V steel. Sorry, I'm kind of like thinking about stuff right now. CPM S30V steel. So good steel. Drop point blade. And he had, as you could see, you could tell from the blade and the thumb stud, it's the Ranger Green Bugout. So it had originally the OD green scales with that smooth and textured grip on it, and then you got the I don't know if it's DLC coated or what kind of coating they have on the Benchmade knives, and the brass colored hardware or thumb stud and spacer, tube spacers on the back. So that's the iteration that he got. The first one that came out was the blue, so it had the satin blade with the blue thumb studs and the blue handle scales. Which after having this knife for a couple days, I absolutely fell in love with this knife. Now, it's a tiny bit heavier with these scales on it. I'm not sure the exact weight on it with these scales, but the factory weight with the factory scales is 1.85 ounces. So insanely light knife. And as far as I can tell, this thing is solid. It is not like shown any signs of wear. Of course, I haven't been doing super hard use, just regular EDC tasks. And it is just, it's an amazing knife. I love the size of it, and you guys know that for me, if you go back and watch my older videos up until this point, you can kind of see the evolution and mindset that I've had when it comes to EDCing knives, which I always have the self-defense factor in mind when it comes to knives, and thinking about that, having that in mind, I always wanted bigger folders because, you know, in a self-defense situation, you have that much more blade for offensive strikes. You have that much more blade to keep distance between you and your attacker. But for an everyday practical use, it's just not smart. You know, you're in public, you want to open up a piece of candy or a package or whatever, you know, 1,000,001 different uses. Pulling something out like this, I feel is totally cool. Like, matter of fact, I have used it in public, just for, you know, cutting open a package or something. Nobody freaks out. Nobody even bats an eye. But if you were to, you know, maybe pull something out a little bit bigger, a little bit more aggressive than that, like, I don't know, let me see, what do I have in here? Of course, hold on, I'm digging through my knife drawer for some, okay, for instance, when I first started EDCing knives, this was one of the knives that I would carry on me on a regular basis. Okay, so, honestly, the Cold Steel Talwar XL, 6-inch blade, really, it's almost about 1 foot long when open. I mean, you open this thing in public and people are gonna lose their minds. Ugh, and it's filthy. I hate putting my knives away filthy. I don't know how that happened. If you hear my nephew, if you hear crying, that's my nephew. He's throwing a fit. You know, I mean, look at the size comparison. Look at that. You know, it's like I went from this, everything in between, to preferring something in this range, maybe a tiny bit bigger. When I say a tiny bit bigger, I mean, you know, the Paramilitary 2, which you can see is maybe 1.5 inches bigger. And that's not, you know, that's not super crazy or outlandish. Or my Kershaw Tremor, which is probably about the same size, maybe a tiny bit bigger than the PM2. Or, let's see, what else do I have in that size range? Readily available. So many options, so many options. Or even, okay, so I even carry this around recently just because it's a big knife when it comes to being fully deployed, because the handle is so long. You got like this much extra space on it when the knife is closed, so you can see right here. From here on, it's extra. So it'd be a little smaller if it didn't have that, and it closed flush right there, and it just ended right there. So opening up, it's a little bit bigger. So, you know, something like that is still within my range of normal carry. But my point is, I digress. My point is, I am in love with the practicality of the size of the Bugout. It's super practical. However, if I know that I'm going into a situation where, you know, it's going to be strenuous, or self-defense might be something that I already have in mind, I'll probably go with something like the PM2 or even the Yojimbo, just because, well, this is specifically designed for self-defense. This has self-defense in mind, shape and size wise. This, I'm not too sure. I think this is just made for to be an all around user. So it's still, you know, it could still be used in that self-defense application. But anyways, I absolutely love the size of this knife. I don't like the pocket clip. Pocket clip is too short. I believe Kris has ordered, or is going to order, a different clip for this guy. I'm not sure though. I can't remember, because we're getting stuck in the buying stuff. You know, like you say, okay, I'm done buying knives or mods for a while, and then a bunch of new stuff comes out and you can't help it. You gotta pick something up. So we'll see what happens in the future. So for whatever reason, I feel like this. I don't know if I like the access lock on a Benchmade as much as I like the compression lock on Spyderco. Maybe because I don't have too many Benchmades. I'm not saying that the access lock sucks, because it definitely doesn't. But I don't know, maybe I'm just used to the compression lock more on the Spydercos. Or maybe it's just that I'm used to liner locks, because basically all a compression lock is an upside down liner lock. So the liner lock is on the back of the blade as opposed to on the belly of the blade. But I don't know. I kind of dig this one a little more, but that's an extremely close second. So all around a really cool knife. Like I said, these are some kind of aluminum scale, and not sure what color. I'd say it's like a dark bronze color. You got your black hardware, you got your brass colored tube spacers and thumb studs. So in this iteration, it looks great. Like I love this colorway that Kris has going on this guy. What else have I not gone through? You have a nice lanyard hole right there, so you can get you can fit 550 through there, no problem. CPM S30V, flat grind, drop point, plain edge, super light at 1.85 ounces. That is the, oh, I like how it has some jimping right here too on the liners on the back of the blade. And that's really all that you have when it comes to jimping. And it's really, the handle is really, man, why am I having such a hard time right now? The handle is really neutral when it comes to ergos. So you can see that it has slight indentation in the back, slight, a little more of a groove up top, and then you have like this little notch shaved down for your finger. So it fits really nicely. It feels comfortable size-wise. And it's nice. I would have liked a little bit of jimping maybe right here on the spine of the blade. That might have been cool, but whatever, doesn't really kill it for me. Super nice knife. I love this Bugout. Let me know down below, guys, in the comments what you think about the Benchmade Bugout. I don't know why I was gonna say cold steel Bugout. Wow. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of the Benchmade Bugout. Let me know which one you guys have, because like I said, there's the Ranger Green and then the blue, and then there's a million different scales coming out. So let me know what you guys have. Let me know how you feel about the Bugout as opposed to the Para 3 or even the Para 2. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm going to leave a button down here for you guys to go ahead and do that. I'll leave another video up here for you guys to check out of the channel. And like always, guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. See you next time.